Today seen warm and the vital activity of organisms. Бүгінгі тақырып жылу және ағзалардың тіршілігі. Plan of the lecture. Лекцияның жоспары. Temperature and biological phenomena. Температура және биологиялық құбылыстар. Effect of temperature and ecological process, the activity of organism. Температураның экологиялық үрдістерге және тіршілік ағзаларға әсері. Thermal regime of habitat. Ортаның температуралық режимі. Equation of heat balance. B equals A plus P plus L E, where B radiation balance of the active surface, A the heat flow between the active surface and the underlying layers. P the flow of heat between the surface and the surface air layer. LE, heat flow associated with the phase transformation of water in the bracket evaporation condensation. The ratio between the non-radiation of heat flow depends on the nature of the underlying surface. For example, on the day of the main reservoirs of the cost associated with the heating and evaporation of the active layer, and little heat given to the air. Unless the least important heat in the active layer, the ratio between P and the LE depends on soil moisture. In the well water crops, where the active layer is itself vegetation, heat losses through evaporation is greater than in heating the air. If the soil in crops was slightly moistened, the heat radiation expanded primarily and the heating plants and air. When the heat transfer is directed downwards in the bracket plus A, the enlarged part of the heat coming from the top surface to remain in the active layer. The temperature of this layer in the active surface varying increasing. When heat is transmitted through the Earth's surface from the bottom up, in the bracket minus A, it into the atmosphere lives primarily from the active layer, as a result of which the surface temperature decreases. The daily temperature variation usually has one maximum and a minimum. The minimum temperature of the soil surface in clear weather is observed before sunrise, when the radiation balance is still negative and the exchange of heat between air and soil is negligible. As the sun rises, the temperature of the soil surface increases. The maximum temperature is observed about 13 hours. Then the temperature begins to drop. The difference between the maximum and minimum in the daily or annual variation is called the amplitude of the temperature. The amplitude of the daily variation of the temperature of the soil surface is influenced by the times of year. At the depths of 100 centimeters, regardless of soil type, daily amplitude practically is zero. With these depths begin layer constant daily temperature. Annual temperature varied prepared in depths with a reduction of the amplitude by the same law. The amplitudes of annual variation decrease to near zero at 15-20 meter depths in the middle latitude, about 10 meter in the southern latitude, and 30 in the polar latitudes. With depths begin layer constant annual temperature, the layer of soil, which is observed daily and annual course of temperature, called the active layer and the active. The smallest difference in the thermal regime of the active surface on the slopes and level ground observed in the summer and the highest in spring and autumn. This is thus to the distribution of direct solar radiation and radiation balance and the slope of different orientation and the steepness. With the increase in the highlight of the snow cover depth of freezing is reduced. In the Barnaul weather station by Shujin, 1972, snow dips centimeter, 8, 12, 34, 52. The depth of freezing 150, 120, 1975. The mean of the absolute minimum soil temperature at a depth of 3 centimeters. In the Barnaul weather station by Shulgin, 1972. Snow depth of centimeter. Temperature degree by Celsius. 0 minus 14.4. 10, 30 minus 10.1. 30, 50 minus 6.7. Biological minimum and the maximum temperature of germination of seeds with different crops, degree by Celsius. On the slide, you see culture, minimum, maximum, culture, minimum, maximum. Culture, barley, oats, rye, wheat, radish, peas, buckwheat, potato, sunflower, cabbage, rice, tomatoes, eggplant, pepper, cotton, pumpkin, melon, cucumber, corn. Here you see temperature, minimum and maximum this culture. Grows root of heat in the branch by bathroom. The growth index, soil temperature, index 7, 15, 20, 26, 33. In millimeter, 11.8, 23.1, 23.7, 32.3, 1.0. The increase in what weight milligram? 81, 120, 121, 140, 1.9. The number of cells found along the root of the root is 7, 88, 173, 257. Method of active influence on the thermal regime of the soil can be divided into agrotechnical, agromelioration, agrometeorological. For agrotechnical, relate deep boozing, compacting, ridging, and others. Thermal regime of the atmosphere is called the character of the distribution and temperature change in the atmosphere. The heat treatment atmosphere is mainly determined by its heat exchange with the environment, with the active surface and outer space. The idea of distribution of temperature with the height gives a vertical temperature gradient in the bracket VTG. VTG equal TD minus TH in the bracket divided 0 the HZB, where TB minus TH temperature difference between the lower and upper levels, degree by Celsius. That H minus the B, the difference in height, meter, is calculated on 100 meter altitude. The surface layer of the atmosphere, VTG, is 1,000 times greater than the average for the troposphere. Biological minimum temperature at a different period of growing of some crops. Culture, seeding emergence, and the formation of vegetative organs. Formation of the generative organs. Canola spring, 2, 3, 8, 10. Peas, 4, 5, 8, 10. Spring wheat, barley oats, 4, 5, 10, 12. Lentil, 4, 5, 12, 15. Sunflower, 7, 8, 12, 15. Millet, 10, 11, 12, 15. Beans, 12, 13, 15, 18. Cotton, 14, 15, 15, 20. Rice, 14, 15, 18, 20. Thank you for attention.
Sağ olun.
İlk keşif görüyoruz.